sweet mother of Moses, where do we even begin with this flaming pile of raging garbage that is this woke dumpster fire? Now, for the record here, I have not played the new Spider-Man game for a bunch of reasons. It's only out on console, and I am part of the glorious PC master race, and a quality Spider-Man game hasn't been released since Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 and GameCube almost 20 bloody years ago. The PC version, however, was a different game entirely, made by developer The Fizz Factor. Pretty accurate description of the game, actually, seeing as it ended up being a steaming pile of arse and will no doubt retain the title of worst PC port in gaming history. Now, the last Spider-Man game that I played for the PC was Ultimate Spider-Man, because swinging through the city and jumping through the air as Venom was actually fun. Anyone remember when AAA games used to focus on that? No, neither do I. The latest edition that was just shat out, however, from what I have heard, is so bogged down and riddled with overt propaganda that even Reddit, the internet's most leftist cesspool, is complaining about it. And you know when even Reddit is shredding you, oof, that is quite the red flag right there. Peter going on anti-gun tirades, saying the city needs compliment clubs, which is the cringiest thing I've heard in a long friggin' time, which, as the comment says here, is pretty rich coming from a superhero that can eat lead and punch through brick walls. I've heard there's lectures about climate change, solving puzzles near BIPOC murals. Yes, that is a word they actually use. All the villains are of the pale variety, and Miles' school teacher is this walking black woman stereotype, and to no surprise, his love interest has a disability with no frickin' personality. Also, I've seen the message with regards to sexuality is pervasive and everywhere, as well as abortion promotion in a side quest, apparently. Not to mention the rainbow flag, even the Ukraine flag is there for some reason. This is not a game trying to showcase propaganda on the line. No, this is out-and-out propaganda pretending to be a damn game. One theme, however, that I've seen almost everyone complain about is that the writing is seriously bad. If you removed even all the agenda pushing, it would still suck because it's just poorly written. Particularly because there's virtually no negativity. Everyone is so excessively positive and happy to the point of inducing nausea, which obviously creates an imbalance resulting in no tension and no drama. And if you're playing a superhero game, well, that's going to break all the immersion with all the subtlety of a shotgun blast to a party balloon. But one thing that did go viral on Twitter was something off about MJ that even spawned this article written by an incredibly brittle excuse for a so-called journalist. Trolls attack Spider-Man 2 PS5 intern over likeness to MJ. I love the language there, don't you? Trolls attack. Make it sound like the basement dwellers were flinging digital fecal matter at the lass. On a side note, the woman who wrote this, Zarmina Khan over there, this is PlayStationLifestyle.net by the way, claims to have a master's degree in science, though her academic record says she studied 4 Masters of Science in International Business, worked for various multinationals, as well as the British government. How the hell did you wind up at PlayStation Lifestyle and remain there for almost 10 damn years? I'm sorry, but I find that extremely sketch, and if you go to her Twitter account, I get the impression her political interests still dominate her existence, because her Twitter account is about 90% political ramblings. Again, how have you secured a job writing about gaming for almost 10 bloody years? In fact, let me show this, because this is just funny. I actually had a spat with her yesterday morning on Twitter, and let me tell you, this bint is seriously thick. She commented on a mother who went to prison for giving her daughter abortion pills, saying the following: women in conservative states need to A. reject men and deny them any kind of physical relationship, let them banish themselves to incildom, yes, very mature that one is, B. move to states where they have bodily autonomy, C. vote accordingly. Now, never mind that if you did B, C becomes redundant, but anyway, I'm reading this and I'm thinking to myself, do you realize that if the daughter simply denied the bloke any physical relationship, then the mother wouldn't have given her the abortion pills that landed her in prison in the bloody first place? First thing she does is throw out the word incel. Look at these replies. Doesn't address anything and hops on the same talking point over and over again like a damn machine. Oh, I don't waste my time disputing gibberish. I agree, because I'm not punching gibberish and you can't dispute jack shit. You're an indoctrinated drone. Heaven's sake, an AI can crank out witty replies in you. At least the AI will actually listen. And you're a woman. I thought that's what you lot are supposedly good at. You just reply repeatedly up until you realize you're getting your ass handed to you, and then you blocked me like a wuss. Hell, she even blocked Aiden when she pointed out that calling someone an incel is not an argument. My friend Operation Madman, when she said her behavior makes her embarrassed to be a woman, even scrumped for posting a single meme. The complete lack of any self-awareness or reason with this one is, frankly, not surprising at all. Neither is them working for the government, I mean, my word. Although the lack of specificity means you could have been a cleaner for all I frickin' know. Calling me an incel when you behave like this, my good lord, the pattern recognition. It's a walking cliche, what can I tell you? You all know that chick is single, right? If you want to check out the thread, go to my Twitter profile, it's linked down in the description below. Have fun with that one. Now bear in mind, in the article she wrote herself, but this wasn't enough for folks who've probably never been close to a woman in real life and were extremely sad that they couldn't drool over a fictional character. Again, pattern recognition, something of a theme appearing here, isn't there? Sorry state of journalism, my dear God. Does it ever occur to you that men can value something objectively attractive without wanting to fuck it? Or is that beyond your dim-witted comprehension? Heaven's sake, if a guy plays a male character, what do you think he wants? Someone who's a fat slob covered in Cheeto dust or a guy that looks like Duke Nukem? Case in point, a bunch of internet trolls have been relentlessly attacking, my goodness, the hyperbolic language, and Insomniac Games in turn over perceived likeness to Spiderman 2 PS5's MJ. A tweet that went viral over the weekend falsely insinuated that MJ's face model is one of the game's writers, an outlandish claim that ended up prompting a response from the victim herself. Are you gonna show us the viral tweet in question that spawned the article? Oh, of course not. Why, we'd very likely see a whole load of pictures that might confirm what you dismiss as an outlandish claim, and how dare we believe our own eyes and draw our own conclusions. You used to work for the government, lass. The chance of you lying is astronomically high. Spider-Man 2 PS5's MJ is modeled after actress Stephanie Tyler Jones. Spider-Man 2's MJ looks different than the character seen in the PS4 game due to graphical advancements. Graphical upgrades. That's the lie you want to run with. Really? Notice the language there as well. Not better due to graphical advancements. No, just different. Bit of an admission there if you ask me. Even they can't swallow their own shit. Look at this. This is MJ on the PS4 versus 5. Why does she look better on 4 than 5, for heaven's sakes? Where is the upgrade exactly? Now let's look at some other ones here, shall we? Jack, Mass Effect 3, 11 years ago. Miranda, Mass Effect 2, 12 years ago. Morgan, Dragon Age Origins, 14 years ago. Mass Effect vs. Andromeda, 07 vs. 17, a 10-year difference. Don't you fucking come and tell me this is graphical upgrades. This is straight up gaslighting. Graphical upgrades, my shiny ass. Look at this. This is Miranda in Mass Effect 2 in 09, and the lady whom she was modeled on, a one Yvonne Strahovski. But this is the crap you shit out 14 years later and peddle to us as graphical advancements? Piss off. Here is Stephanie Tyler Jones. Does this look like her? Really? Smashing extra doubt over here. In fact, someone on Reddit morphed Stephanie's face into the game. Here is what they came up with. Now that is a good modeling job. You know why the writer supposedly got mauled by trolls? Do you see now why the article wouldn't reveal the viral tweet? Oh wow, it's a total mystery. Oh, but this is just server stuff, you say. Do we have any deeper info? Indeed we do, so let's dive right in here. As a queer and hard-of-hearing person, hold the jokes, folks, I know, the setup is so wide open, it's not even funny. I am looking forward to I think you mean learning, you're supposed to be a writer, but anyway, about the world around me while still telling stories true to my personal experiences. I aim to write impactful stories about representation, which means bugger all, by the way. Representation is not a plot line. I pray someday you will learn that, or better yet get replaced by someone who never thought this bollocks in the bloody first place. That audiences could see themselves in. Who doesn't want to see themselves in their favorite games? Well, not me, because I'm not an egotistical narcissist. I'm just egotistical. Inclusivity is incredibly important to me. Yes, which means the inclusion of myself and my ideology and everything else I'll set on fire. So it's totally a coincidence that the love interest of Miles is a deaf girl. Jeez, I wonder where they could possibly get that idea from. Let me translate all of this from gibberish into manspeak, otherwise known as common sense. Me, all about me, fuck you. That's it. That's all that means. Accompanying this was this post from 4chan. LEGO did a study when they created the LEGO Friends line for girls, where they discovered that when a boy plays with a toy of a character, he tries to become the character. And when a girl does the same thing, she tries to make the character become her. So if you give a boy a Batman toy, he's going to want to know everything there is to know about Batman, and he will try to think and talk like Batman when he plays with the toy. And then yet we wonder why men have better imaginations. If this is something boys do innately, you can make a case this is actually sex-specific. The little girl, on the other hand, is going to make Batman go shopping, bake cookies, and go to the prom. That's not to say there aren't exceptions on both sides, but that is the data that allowed LEGO to finally get a foothold on the girls' market after decades of failed attempts. Now, I actually went to go read up on the story, and yeah, this is actually true. As a matter of fact, the Campaign for a Commercial-Free Childhood nominated LEGO Friends for a Toady Award, a worst toy designation that's also a partial acronym for Toys Oppressive and Destructive to Young Children. Here's how the advocacy group described Friends at the time. How do you turn one of the all-time great toys into a toady contender? Give it a makeover, introducing LEGO Friends just for girls and so jam-packed with condescending stereotypes, it will make even Barbie blush. Bye-bye square androgynous figures, hello curves and eyelashes. Yeah, because how dare you model yourself after the most successful household name when it comes to dolls, what a stupid idea that is. And at the LEGO Friends Butterfly Beauty Shop, your little princess won't need to worry her pretty little head about icky boy things like building. I think it's safe to say these people's lives suck and they're lonely, miserable bastards with no friends or hobbies, because if you're getting to the point where you're taking issues with Lego, studying how children behave, and then making toys for them based on what the kids naturally gravitate towards, and you somehow think this is some nefarious attempt at meddling and manipulating their values as opposed to trying to make money on what they, the consumer, want, is frankly insane. If you look at how women approach things like Star Wars or remakes of animated movies, is it any wonder that so many of them want to reinvent the IP either by feminizing it or changing the main characters to look like them? You know, I read this and I thought, I feel like I've seen this phenomenon even as a kid, but I can't quite recall from where. And then it hit me, Toy Story. You know when Buzz falls to the ground because he can't actually fly and he breaks off his arm? And then this girl asks her mother, "Where is her Sally doll?" But then she picks up Buzz and goes, "Never mind," and then proceeds to dress him up for a tea party. Exact same pattern. Here's the thing. When you make a piece of art, the art is an extension of the creator. It would never occur to me to force myself onto the creation and say, "Fuck you, I'll do what I want with you." That is a level of arrogant, destructive narcissism that I just can't understand that. It would never occur to me to be that much of a disrespectful asshole. And I find this behavior fascinating as well as a bit disturbing. And the fact that girls behave in this manner without any social coercion, without ideological influence, but rather simply innately, it leads me to the conclusion this is just how women are naturally wired. And if you find this behavior abhorrent, which I do, then they should be exiled from any spaces of authority where this kind of behavior can have influential consequences, because it doesn't produce anything good. The author is 100% right about how men see the world. We see a character, we look at their physique, their attire, their age, their weaponry, and think, what kind of a world would this kind of character inhabit? And the world is created around the character. Women, on the other hand, do the exact opposite. The old saying, a man makes a house, a woman makes a home. This is why the girls didn't like building the Lego, because they're making the house, not the home. They can't build worlds because they're focused on the interior and everything must match the interior. Is the worst elements of de-individualization and forcing of conformity is how they damage everything they interact with. And if you're a bloke, you know this. Any space that was once male-dominated, once female elements enter, they will find some way to make it all about themselves, gyms being a good example. It's much like the assembly play by Aristophanes. I'm not remotely surprised by the findings at all. Like, you know what this writer reminds me of? You know the kid that got bullied at school but then became a cop and a subsequent asshole? It's like the female version of that. Never got any attention and now you're forcing others to look at you because there's nothing special about you that gets any attention from the opposite sex. They're actually incredibly insecure, and so they try and destroy standards under the guise of being inclusive, when in reality, no, that's a pile of bollocks. They're deeply envious of better-looking women. As like I said in my previous video, women are threatened by superiority in a way that men simply are not. And ultimately, it looks like the entertainment industry just hates women. All of these so-called representation of men are god-tier sculpted bodies, and all of the women are largely unimpressive and dry, or so abusively masculine it alienates both men and women. Like I said before, toxic masculinity when it's done by women becomes female empowerment. So evidently, you don't really have much of an issue with toxic behavior, you seem to have an issue with the genitals doing it. Because these people can't see anything inherently good or positive in womanhood to the point where it looks like they actually hate themselves. Pick up your own sex, ladies, well done. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.